to another Q&A. Quarantine and Answered. We're looking for the man, Corbin Reinhardt, until I see him pop up. Hello, IDFK. Hello, Bilal. Hello, Empire to Ashes. Hello, Jero. Hello, Elon. Hello, Andre. Hello, I am Shane Smith. Corbin is in the building. Let's get him.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is
What's up,
Corbin
man? How you doing?
Reinhardt? What's up, bro?
Not much, not much. Just back at the house as usual. Quarantine time.
Yeah. How's it going, dude?
It's going well. It's going well. I got a pool in the backyard, so thank God for that. But yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, sick, dude. Thank you, first of all, for taking time to do this.
Sure. I told some of my followers to ask some questions too. So whatever pops up.
Dope. Yeah, I know we actually, with you, I did not give you very much heads up that we were doing this. And so I appreciate you just being able to respond to the fact that we already promoted it and put it out there.
For sure, for sure.
Much love for that. It's good to see your face again.
I know, man. I haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, I got to see you very briefly to go drop off a mask to you.
Exactly.
Outside of that, I haven't talked to you. So how are you doing? How's your family doing?
Doing well, man. My dad's still at work. He's a cop, so he's been kind of just going in and out. Yeah, for the most part, we're just kind of taking a break, staying back, trying to do as much as possible, working on different videos, stuff like that.
Good deal. Everybody staying healthy?
Yes, of course.
Word. All right. Dope. I have personally a lot of good things I want to talk to you about. I'm sure the people that you told to tune in, they have some great things to talk to you about.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I want to hear some questions, too.
Do you want to start off with questions?
Yeah, no, whatever. Yeah,
Let's do it.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Let's do it. Let's switch it up. Let's start with questions.
All right.
See what we
If you got any
got.
questions, please ask them.
You got questions for Corbin Reinhardt?
See, some people are going to be saying purgatory because in one of the videos, TFIL videos, that was my keyword to do a backflip wherever. So,
So you're going to get trolled throughout this whole thing.
Exactly, most definitely. All right, we got a favorite move. Favorite
Perfect.
move for me is gainer, all the way, hands down, every day.
Specific types of gainer, specific place to do it.
I like stalled out gainers. I like doing this while I'm doing a gainer. It's my favorite thing. Unless you can also see the ground really well, so it's just like it's the best way to go through it.
Yeah, that's a dope little feeling. That is a good one.
What's your favorite move?
My favorite move?
Yeah,
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I would say mine was a gainer full for a very long time.
really? Wow.
Yeah, gainer full because it was like not a lot of people were doing it. And
No,
it was
true.
one of those that once I overcame that fear of that,
Definitely,
it was like, oh yeah, I unlocked something that not everybody's unlocked.
most definitely.
So I loved that. And then 360 precision is probably my all-time.
That's the one I was gonna say. I was gonna say that's definitely the major one.
It's been a go-to for me for so long, and it's been like something that I could always challenge myself in
Not
different
touch
ways,
it.
right? I could do it off of something. I could do it
For sure.
high to low. I could do it rail to rail. We could
Yeah, no,
there's
exactly.
so many different ways
Something you
to
could
mess
just
with it.
master. For
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah, thanks
Somebody
for
said
asking.
worst injury. That's got to be my head injury. That was when I
Dude.
broke my head back in 2 years ago now, I think.
All right, so since we're already there, I was going to get to this at some point. Oh,
Yeah,
my setup is janky today because I wanted some better light, and
Yeah,
came
I
out to
see.
my living room. But I wanted to speak to you about this stuff anyways. I was around. I was not around for the injury itself, but I was
down
around
in
for
Florida.
some of what went on after the injury.
Mhm.
And I will say, as an individual who's been around a lot of accidents and a lot of bad shit, just being in the stunt world and being,
Yeah.
a kid growing up, very
You've
active.
been around it, for sure.
I have never personally experienced head injury as serious as what you went through. And what I mean by that is, like, I've seen some very big bad head injuries, but I've never experienced the aftermath, what it's like to go through the repair and the
Definitely.
growth to, like,
Yeah.
just get back to normal.
Just physical recovery and mental, too. It's a big
So
thing.
when I showed up at your house, because I was like, how can I be of help? What can I do? Like, one thing I could do is, like, offer to just be around, help Corbin get moving. And I would go to your house so that we could go swim in the backyard.
Yep, every day.
And your family was more than welcoming, and it was awesome. at the same time, I walked in the door. I remember this. I walked in the door and there's this big like easel. I don't know if you guys don't know what an easel is. It's one of those things you put paintings on. Yeah, go learn yourself. But it was an easel standing in the doorway, and it had a big white piece of paper or like a notebook with white paper that you could flip every day, and it had a number on it.
Yeah.
And I walked in, and that was the first thing I saw. I was like, "This is odd." Like, I think it was the number 13, or
yeah,
I think it was the number 13. And then I see you come out. And I'm like, "Yo, Corbin, what's up?" It's my first time seeing you.
Was I even able to talk to you
in person? And you're like, "Oh, hey." and I knew right away. I was like, "Oh man, there's a difference. Holy shit, there's a difference." And so I was like, Corbin, I was like, "How are you? Like, how are you feeling? What are you doing?" And your conversation with me was like, "Oh, it's only 13. It's been 13. I don't know, but it's hard, but I'm okay. But 13." And it was just like very jumbled, and
repetitive.
It was like, "Oh my goodness." And it kind of shocked me, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, well then you're here to really work through this with somebody." And we would get in the water, and I would watch you like just get in, and touching the water was weird, and standing in the water was interesting, and just watching you like process. It was like what it would be like teaching my daughter to get in the water for the first time. And I did not teach you. I was not teaching you much at all.
No.
I was just there as like a comfort, and I was coaxing you to do things and trying to get you to like swim.
I remember it super vaguely. Like there's something in my mind, but I remember some parts that I don't.
It was wild, man. And I have to say, seeing you prior to the accident, seeing you then, and then seeing you now is like just this insane like progression.
Oh, it's definitely nice.
Even you now, I see huge progression from where you were, both as an athlete and as an individual, even before the accident, actually.
Oh, thank you.
And so I wanted to ask you, like, what has that been like? Do you recognize that you went like how much of that do you recall? Do you recall going back to the point where you were like having to relearn basic movements and basic conversation and then coming out of that? Or do you feel like, oh, it was just a short period in my memory or something?
I think the toughest time to go through right at the beginning was probably the physical therapy and the mental therapy, because I had to go through speech training for a good 3 months right when I got home. So I had to figure out different things. They would give me like a clock, and they would tell me I had to put the numbers on it. And the first time I did it, it was just absolute trash. It was like I couldn't remember anything. And so basically going through those first 3 months, I kind of realized I had to pick up the pieces and just kind of remember everything. Yeah. My memory loss was pretty substantial for a minute there. Now I remember most things, but it was tough for a good amount of time. But I never tried to stay away from the gym. I tried to go to the gym actually as much as possible.
I remember we were trying to stop you at times.
Oh, you guys were trying to. Sydney would try to hold me back. She would hug me. That was really funny.
It was kind of funny. Like at a certain point, you had to kind of laugh with you because it was funny to watch you like say like, not verbally, but internally you were kind of saying like, yeah, if
they gave me a notepad.
I gotta go and do this. I have to do this for me.
Exactly.
And we could just watch and be like, oh, okay, Corbin, please be careful. Like cringy a little bit.
To the point where it was just me. I had to do it for myself.
But I'm glad you did. I'm glad you knew what you were doing, and I'm glad that you had such a positive attitude. Like, so just to jump back, so people understand real quick, the 13 that I saw on Corbin's paper when I walked in the door was his family was recording every day after the accident, after he had gotten home from the accident, right?
Yeah. My mom she had a camera there, and she told me to make a video every day that I was, after the injury.
So it was the 13th day that I had first showed up at your house. And every day this number would change, obviously. And Corbin would say, oh, it's getting better, but it's only 14.
Exactly.
Oh, it's getting better, but it's only 15. And he was using that to track his progress, which I found like, oh, my God, that was amazing. And then your positive attitude and your family's positive attitude. I know people who would be crushed in that situation. Yeah. I feel like I was watching it and I was like, oh, my God, I'm glad I saw this because I don't look at myself as somebody who could just bounce back from something like that.
No, most definitely.
So you showed a lot of people some grit and what hard work takes, and you showed people that you can go from being what I considered one of the best in the world to somebody who can barely walk and talk, and then go back to being even better than you were before. So,
thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing to me.
I feel like the attitude that I had toward it is that I just can't sit still. I don't know. I don't think I have ADHD or anything like that, but in terms of being on the couch and having to stay on the couch is something that it's the worst thing to me. So I think always having to move was a big encouragement, and I think that was the motivation for me to come back for sure. But there were a lot of people that were messaging me saying that they had the same injury as me and that they were crushed by it. They said that it's been years since they've even really learned how to walk properly again and certain stuff like that. So it's it was definitely a personal challenge, but I just knew that I had to try my best.
Well, dude, you did a hell of a job, and you've obviously come very far. Hey, if you guys experience any audio problems on my side, let me know. I'm just working out my setup here. So, dude, the next thing that I wanted to ask you, just following up on that, is the next thing. My daughter's over here trying to jump in on camera. The next thing that I wanted to ask you to follow up on this is you made a change. You made a change to the way that you train after you really got back, and you were much more aware. You were much more aware of like what you were trying to accomplish as an athlete.
Definitely.
And I think you've also taken some new kind of training techniques on. So can you like walk us through like what was the conscious decision in how you were going to train? Because you were already doing stuff that I thought was bananas. And now I see you doing things that I think is even more bananas, but you're doing it in a way that's more consistent.
Yeah, more consistent, more careful, I would say.
Yeah.
I think right after you go through an injury or something like that, you really feel like you can't trust yourself anymore. I think initially that's the feeling you get. You can't trust yourself. And so that's kind of the area where you go back to square one and you have to really train it again and get comfortable with it again. But one of the things that really helped afterward was I actually had to start going to the real gym for a while and actually do weight training and different stuff like that just to get my legs back to the place where they should have been. And that was a big deal for me. And after I went through 3 months of that for physical training, they kind of dropped me. They said, hey, you can walk again. You're all good. Yeah. And I kept that in mind because I really wanted to feel more comfortable with my legs anyway. So I think one of the big changes was I went to the gym consistently, the real gym, and I started working on my muscles a little bit more. I think I got stronger since the injury itself, or even before the injury. I think I got stronger in a certain way. So yeah, I think that was one of the main things that actually really helped me a lot. But it was more the consistency or having to be consistent in something. I think that was the big thing.
So on top of that, one thing you told me, and you could probably break this down better for me because I don't know exactly how you've chosen to start doing this, but you told me that things used to come just natural to you.
Yeah.
And actually, I grew up in that way where like I actually didn't learn to do hard work and follow through as young as I wish I would have because things came so naturally easy to me.
For sure.
Especially in the sports world. And until something really challenged me, then I realized like, oh no, you got to work if you're going to try to be one of the best.
Yeah, definitely.
You started, I think you told me you started taking the moves that you really wanted to do, these dream moves, banger moves. And you wanted to do them, 3 times before you believed that like you're capable of it? You made sure?
Definitely. I think that's a standard rule for anybody in parkour. It's usually that you don't have a move until you can do it 3 times consistently. So I think that was like one of the things I really try to step up on, like especially when I'm going back from the basics. I had to be able to do things 3 times and be consistent with it. And what I would do a lot of the time was I would try to work my way up to a move, and it would be something really hard for me, and I would try the next week to do it in the warm-up. And I think that was one of the big things. If I could do it 3 times in the warm-up, then that means I'm obviously getting better. Yeah. So that was the most major.
Okay, sick. Dude, I could have this conversation with you all day.
Of course.
Let's jump back in here and see if there's any questions.
Let's go with some questions. What do we got?
All right, audio sounds good. Thank you for the feedback. We love the personal growth. He didn't want to record daily, though. Oh, is that your mom?
Yes.
Oh, sick. Mom is in the house. Mom.
Yeah, she's always here.
Great job. What a huge help you were. Kudos to you. What a strong family you guys got, man.
Definitely.
She said he didn't want to record daily, though it was for others too. Progress. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Wes, a lot of people are saying that they want to see me back on TFIL and different stuff like that. For anybody who's on that, I want to say there is things in the making that are going to be happening pretty soon. So you don't worry, you will see me on TFIL pretty soon.
All right. Speaking of what we're going to see you in soon, you are the kid.
Yes.
The kid is going to be showing up when?
On Ultimate Tag. It's going to be on May 20th, I believe. Yeah.
May 20th. Tempest will be blowing it up. Corbin will be blowing it up. Sydney, Josh Yaden, Jesse LaFleur. Who else am I missing? Corey DeMeyers.
So many people. Yeah, Corey DeMeyers was on it. Josh Yaden was on it. There's so many different characters. I don't even think these people exactly know the names of the people, but they're tagged by different names. Cavemen, the Giant, different stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's
it'll
like
be
for
fun.
American Gladiators. That's pretty much what it's like.
It is. It's the tag, the Ultimate Tag, American Gladiator style.
Yeah.
You know, as we do here in America, we always take things to some crazy next levels.
The different levels, And these obstacles are crazy.
Yeah, the obstacles are crazy. I mean, I was able to be around and see what was happening, and I know people were getting beat up left and right. It was pretty hectic.
Yeah.
And I also got to see, like, you know, the training, and we got to go to one of the live showings. So I guess I want to know, without spoiling too much, what was your favorite part of the experience of being on this show? Because essentially, just in case you guys don't know, these taggers, the ultimate taggers, are like the gladiators of this game.
Definitely.
They will be reoccurring in episodes, and they are who you have to get through if you're one of the opponents or one of the contestants.
For sure.
So what was your favorite part of playing that role?
I think it was cool for the most part because even as a parkour person, I don't play tag all that much, but bringing that back to like the childhood level, I thought that was really cool. But being able to use my experience and my skill to that advantage was really, really cool. And the obstacle courses were absolutely insane. So that's first off, right off the bat. The other thing was I was a child actor when I was a kid. And so I would be like on the Warner Brothers lot a lot. And so just coming back and being in the biggest stage and having these huge things and just kind of making it full circle, I think that was probably the coolest thing for me. That was definitely the highlight for sure.
Dope. Yeah, it was so fun to just go in there and watch you guys all rocking out in your costumes. Everybody in their painted custom LaFleurs. You guys rocking makeup, and
we made that place our own. It was really cool.
It was a blast. So, like I said, we will talk much more about this, and we'll be posting more about this. So everybody, stay tuned for Ultimate Tag. Brett Vance said you can never tag him; he's too fast.
Brett always says that, but look at some of my past videos on YouTube, and you'll see the real truth.
Do you guys have any questions? Throw them out there.
Please give us some questions.
Otherwise, I have some more. I have some questions that have been asked in some of these other conversations that I just like to keep flowing through because it's so interesting to get the different perspectives. But I want to know, do you have a move that was your like pinnacle move that you've always wanted to get and you've already gotten? Or is that move still out there?
I always got. I think for the most part, my favorite move has been the gainer for a long, long time. And I've always loved gainers, but there's so many variations on them. And I think the main move was probably the handstand gainer. And that's when you're on your hands, obviously, and then you have to make a full rotation after your feet come through. That's a scary move altogether.
Yeah, that's a dirty one.
Oh, it's so dirty. But also for the fact of you can hit your head really easily if you just bust out of it. What a lot of people don't understand is with backflips or anything like that, if you mess up in the middle, that's where you really hurt yourself. You have to commit to it all the way. And I would say
as long as you commit, you're not going to get anything too damaging. You might bust some things up.
But that's the thing. Well, especially after my head injury, that's what I was so focused on because I hit right in the back of my head. So that's where I would hit if I did a handstand gainer if I messed up. I think that's one of the scariest moves for me. And now whenever I go to the gym, I think I try to do that like pretty consistently. That's a tough one. But
so what is it about you that like wants to overcome these things? Because a lot of people would just take that as a course correction, right? Like if you think of life as like bumper bowling or bowling with bumpers on the side, right? A lot of people live life and they get to the edge of that and they feel like they're at the edge and then they use anything they can as a bumper to knock them back into the middle.
Definitely.
But there are some people like yourself that like you get to that edge and you're like, no, I want to ride this edge because I want to challenge myself and I want to live in this constant state of attacking my fears.
Definitely.
Why? Like, what is it? What
for
you
me?
Wired different, or you
no,
just,
I think a lot of it is just trying to be the best you can be, just at anything. I think for the most part, this is just me personally, but I want to look back at like my life in terms of if I have grandkids or anything like that, and I'm showing them something. I never want to show them something that I didn't try my best on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I never want
bro.
there to be something that I regretted or held back on. And I think that's a big part of what I try to do.
Dude, I love that. Yeah, I think about it. I'm like, I want my book to be fucking good.
Yeah,
right? Even
exactly.
if there's not a book about me, I want to know that like I lived a life that that was worth, you know, my daughter being able to talk about, my family, my friends being able to talk about, and hopefully something positive comes out of that, something inspiring, something educational, whatever it is.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
that's dope. I love that, and I love your perspective on that. How are you staying positive in quarantine is what IDF.
Staying positive in quarantine.
Yeah.
Dude, the toughest thing in quarantine is exercise. That's right off the bat. That's the hardest thing. Because anytime you go outside and you start running, people get worried that you don't have a mask on or something like that. So what I've been trying to do is just kind of run around my house. Went on a jog yesterday. I think that was pretty good. But the toughest motivation is I don't know, I guess being in one place. Like I was saying for my injury, I mean, I can't stay in one place.
Yeah.
So just being here during this whole time and not knowing when the end's going to happen is just that's really tough.
So that's where the swimming pool comes in.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the most positivity you could have is planning on different things. Like you know what you're going to try when you get out. You know, you know what you're going to work on afterwards. So I think that's the coolest part of it.
Dope. Hey, Yannick Varnell Hill said, "Can we get some behind the scenes of that tag show?" Do you have any behind-the-scenes clips or anything that will be shareable eventually? I'm sure they've asked you not to share.
I most definitely have behind-the-scenes, probably not suitable for work clips that will not be going out just yet. But there are some clips, yes.
Dope. And I have some behind-the-scenes photos, and I'm sure as a collective, we've got some cool behind-the-scenes. So we've actually talked about putting some of that together and making like a nice little BTS edit.
That's what I'm talking about,
gives people some insight into that.
For sure. So we got one person, Alon, saying, "Hey Corbin, any new merch for a 90K challenge on YouTube?" I actually am like right at 90K right now on YouTube, and you know during this quarantine, I think it's been really busy, so it's been tough to get back to YouTube so far. But I will have merch soon. I'm just getting everything sorted out before that happens.
Dope.